Okay, welcome back. Part 3. Let's see if we can finish off the unit circle on this one. All right, so example number 2, we're continuing on with finding the exact values of trig functions using the unit circle. Okay, so start with, we have cos of 5 pi over 6. Focus on the 5 pi over 6. So think 5/6 of a pi. So 6/6 of a pi would be here at pi, right? So 5/6, just a little bit less. So we would be right there. Draw your little reference triangle, always to the x-axis. Sorry, getting rid of a couple things here. Alrighty, and now you recognize, you go, oh, well, that's not a triangle where the side lengths are the same. It's one where they're different. So then you look at it and you go, okay, here's my x, and that looks big. So big is the root 3 over 2. Little would be the y, which is 1/2. Then think about where you are. You've gone left, making x negative, and up, which makes y positive. Okay, so back to the question. We're looking for cos, which is x. So the x coordinate is negative root 3 over 2. And you're done. Okay, let's try the next one. Oh, degrees. Let's throw some degrees at you. So 210 degrees. Let's focus on finding that angle first, that rotation angle. So 210 degrees would land you down in quadrant 3. There's your 210. Draw the little triangle to the x-axis. And let's see if we can come up with the coordinates. So it's a triangle where the side lengths are different, and that's why it's somewhat important to draw this kind of exact. You don't want to draw it in the middle and then be confused and go, oh, well, it looks like the side lengths are the same. Okay, so you draw it closer to the x-axis. Okay, so we have big X, root 3 over 2, little y, 1/2. Think about where you are. You went left, negative x, down, negative y. Okay, back to the question. Sine is y, so y would equal the y coordinate, negative 1/2. Great. Hopefully this is starting to click for you. We have quite a few more examples just in case. But let's look at this next one. Okay, we're in degrees again, so we need to find 300 degrees. Don't worry about that cos cubed right now. We'll come back to that. So 300 degrees. Well, I know this line down here is 270, right? So 300 would be only 30 past that. And you're going to draw your triangle again, but again, it has to be to the x-axis when you draw the triangle. Okay, now come up with the coordinates. Okay, when you look at this, this is our little x and big y. So little x, 1/2, big y, root 3 over 2. That's the bigger number. Think about where you are. We went right, so positive x, down, negative y. Okay, back to the question. Cos, which is x. Okay, now this cos cubed of 300 is really just the same thing as writing the cos of 300 and then cubing it. So we're going to find the cos of 300. Cos is x, so that would be 1/2. And then we cube that. When you have the cube of a fraction, you cube the numerator, you cube the denominator. So 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And there we go. Our answer should be 1/8. All right, let's continue on. We have cosecant squared of 2 pi over 3. Now, if you're feeling like you can pause the video and try a few of these on your own, feel free to do that. I'm going to keep walking through these for those of you who need a little more assistance. So we're looking for an angle, 2 pi over 3, so 2/3 of a pi. Well, that's a little more than half, which would put us right about here. Now, if you're thinking it's a little bit further over, you could be right, but I want to exaggerate it a little bit. I don't want this to look like one of those triangles where the sides are the same, so I've drawn it like this, a little closer to the y-axis. Okay, let's come up with our coordinates. So this is, again, is a big little triangle of 30, 60, 90. X is little, 1/2. Y is big, root 3 over 2. Think about where you are, left, so negative 1/2, up, root 3 over 2. Okay, so we want cosecant, which is the reciprocal of y. Okay, so the y coordinate is root 3 over 2. And again, we're squaring this, so we'll just have to square what we get after. And we want a reciprocal y to get cosecant, so we flip that over, 2 over root 3 then. Okay, that looks good. That's the cosecant of 2 pi over 3. Now we want to square that. So 2 squared is 4. Root 3 squared would be 3. And there we go. Our answer should be 4/3. Awesome. Okay, let's do the next one. Secant of pi over 3, negative pi over 3, sorry. Okay, negative angle, rotating this way. Third of a pi. Okay, so a third of a pi would land us just shy of a half, which would be there. That way we can tell it's a big little triangle. So little side is 1/2, that's x, the x side. The y is big, root 3 over 2. We went right, positive x, down, negative y. Good, secant is 1 over cos, and cos is x, so we have to flip the x coordinate. So if we reciprocal 1/2, we get 2. 2 over 1 if you like, but 2. There we go. That should be our answer. All right, 6 more to go and we are finished. Okay, cosecant of negative 7 pi over 6. Okay, so negative, we're going this way. 7/6, so that's more than 6/6, right, which would be pi. One more, in fact, so we'd be here. Okay, we can get our coordinates. Big X, negative, root 3 over 2. Little y, positive. Back to the trig function. Cosecant is 1 over y. So we take our y coordinate and we reciprocal it. 2 over 1 or 2. Yay, did you guys get that as well? Okay, so I'm thinking, well, there's just one more and then we hit 10, which is a little bit more difficult. Okay, so let's try the next one. Secant, 17 pi over 6. Okay, 17 over 6, that's more than once around, isn't it? Let's think about that. That would go in 2 times completely with 5/6 left over. Or if you do it on your calculator, you'll get 2 point something. And 5/6, so twice, so 2 pi is here, and then 5/6 would land us almost all the way to pi, so right there. So there's our triangle. Let's come up with our coordinates. Okay, so left big, which would mean negative root 3 over 2 for x, up a little amount, so positive 1/2 for y. We want secant, which is 1 over the x coordinate, or 1 over cos, so we flip the x coordinate to get negative, turn it over, 2 over root 3, and we could rationalize that by multiplying top and bottom by root 3, and we would get negative 2 root 3 over 3. There you go. That's your answer. Okay, number 9, tan of pi over 6. Okay, 1/6 of a pi. That's a nice one. So a little tiny bit of pi. It's the smallest amount we have that we know. Okay, coordinates. Coordinates would be big X and little y. Okay, and tan, if you recall, is y over x. So we take our y coordinate, 1/2. Y is 1/2 over our x, root 3 over 2. All right, so unlike that other one we did with pi over 4, this isn't just equal to 1, is it? So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of those 2's on the bottom by multiplying top and bottom by 2. That will get rid of those fractions, okay? And then we're down to simply being 1 over root 3. Okay, which would be okay if they didn't ask for rational denominators, but they likely will, so we would multiply top and bottom by root 3 to get that rationalized, and that would give us root 3 over root 3 times root 3, which is 3. And there we go. There's our answer. Okay, why don't you guys try number 10, and then we'll check back to see if we have the same answer. And you could actually even try 11 and possibly 12 as well. So why don't you do that, and then we'll check and see if we have the same answer. So pause your video. Okay, so welcome back. Hopefully you got the same answers for 10 and 11 as I did. For 10 I got root 3, for 11 I got negative root 3. And you can look over how I did that. Make sure your angles are in the same positions that I had. Coordinates are the same, hopefully. And then tan y over x, cotan x over y. We didn't have to rationalize either of those, so that was good. Now I resumed the video because this one's a little bit trickier. So first of all, we're squaring a cotan. So let's rewrite that as this, and then all squared, okay? So we can focus on the inside. So next, we focus on the angle, negative 5/3 pi. So negative, we're going this way. 5/3, well, 3/3 would be here. So 4/3, 5/3, we'd be right here. Draw our little triangle. Let's come up with the coordinates. We know we have big little happening there. Okay, so little side would be x, which is 1/2. Big side y, root 3 over 2. Alrighty, so we are going to do cotan, which is x over y. So the x coordinate would be 1/2 over the y coordinate, root 3 over 2, and then that is all squared. First we'll simplify inside. The 2's can cancel because they're both over 2, and we have 1 over root 3. We're squaring that. Square the top, square 1 is 1, square the bottom, and we would get 3. Root 3 times squared is 3. And there we go. That should be our answer for cotan squared of negative 5 pi over 3. All right, everyone should feel a whole lot smarter when it comes to the unit circle. You're going to practice these with the assignment from your workbook, which would be lesson 5. And if you need further practice, there's also a posted worksheet as well on the unit circle. So good luck, everyone, and good job.